My Garry's Map mapping story starts on the 22nd of June 2019 when I offered to do a map edit of the map RP downtown for my friend. He allowed me to give it a try, so I opened up a tool called Hammer used to make Garry's Map maps and I got to work. In about 20 minutes I made a simple spawn area. Back then I was proud of making that, but looking at it now I just cringe at how bad it looks. I could make that spawn area in less than 3 minutes today, probably less, but I continued to improve on the spawn area of the map. The map transformed into this in about 30 minutes later. It looks much better. I added some benches, lights, spawn locations, bushes, and a stone block for the server logo, but it was removed later on because stone didn't really blend well with the wall behind it. After a few more edits of the map I found something. My map looked like this. The roof was dark and everything was off. I asked a mapping Discord and they told me it was a leak. I went on Google to find out what it was, and it turns out that having any sort of hole in your map that leads to the void will literally make your map out of stroke and become broken. Leaks to the stair, one of the biggest problems I have with mapping. So off I went to fix the 20 or so leaks that I had. A new request had come from my friend. He wanted a picture in the map. I imported the dank picture and it looked like this. This was my first time adding a custom decal in mapping. Once everything was done, I compiled the map painfully through a huge 50-minute compile time. I then sent the map to my friend. He offered me money, but I turned it down since he was my friend and it was good mapping experience for me. I continued to make maps for his server. After some people had problems with the map downloading, we decided to upload it to the workshop so it was faster downloads and people could download it easier. But a server stole the map and put props over all the logos on it to cover them up. So we joined the server and luckily the owners were on it. They seemed reasonable when we asked them to take down the map, and they did. I removed the map from the workshop to avoid this from happening again. This is when I created my mapping server. I gave it the very original name Downs Mapping Server, and this is where my mapping career began. In the first few days I got a good few members. I started offering to do maps for other servers for free so I could build up some experience. I got a job request from none other than the person who stole the map a few days back. I decided to stay professional and accept the job. Now, I was doing mapping for free as experience. I wasn't expecting much work and expected them to be reasonable with all the edits. But they flooded me with things to do on the map. I didn't want to speak up or anything, so I just did everything. Just when I thought I was done, they wanted a new hotel added to their map. I got the hotel done, compiled the map which took me a stupidly long 4 hours to compile, but I was proud of myself when I got it done. When my friend that I was mapping for at the start found out that I mapped for this server, he gave me the choice to stay mapping for his server or quit and continue mapping for other servers. Well, I did something that I thought was smart at the time, but definitely wasn't. I said that I would continue mapping for them, but secretly make maps for other servers. Well, when I was looking at my newest map on the server I recently mapped for, some guy joined that I never mapped before. He asked me if I made the map for the server. I replied with yes. He asked me if I could make a map for him. I said sure, join my Discord. I sent him the link for my Discord server. He went AFK for a while. While I was waiting for him I got a message. It was the developer for my friend's server. He found out I was secretly mapping for other servers that wasn't his. Well, that costed my rank on the server and got me banned permanently. To this day I believe that the ban was unfair because the owner was my friend and I did do the map for free. But moving on. The second server that I made a map for got their own server obliterated with backdoors. Guess what? They blamed the map and banned me permanently. What a great day. At this point I was some sort of mapping hobo with no communities to make maps for. After those two servers I was absolutely done with doing maps for free. My last hope was to promote my mapping Discord absolutely everywhere in any Gmod related Discord servers. I mainly posted advertisements for my mapping Discord and game hosting Discords. This is probably the most genius idea from me because self-promotion channels and hosting communities are filled with server owners. They try and promote their silly Gmod servers with 100 plus guns or whatever. When they go to promote their Gmod server, they'll see my Discord and be like, hey, wouldn't my server be even better if I had a custom map? This caused many people to join my Discord server. I started getting flooded with job requests for maps. My first paid maps was adding a few logos around the map and changing up a few things. It took me less than an hour and compiling took about an hour. I earned €15 from it. That brings my total earnings from mapping to, you guessed it, €15. As I continued to absolutely grind through maps I made about €50 in that space of time. My mapping server got over 100 members and I became somewhat known in the Garry's Map mapping community. My friend was an admin on the Elite Lupus Dark RP server. He joined my mapping Discord and told me to DM him. I sent him a message and he told me something huge. He asked me if I was interested in mapping for the Elite Lupus RP server. The Elite Lupus RP server was and still is the most played Garry's Mod community out there, so this was a huge opportunity for me. I told him I was interested and he said there were a few other mappers that he would choose as favourite. He told me that Elite Lupus was making a prison RP server and that he needed a custom map for it. To make a very long story short, I was chosen to be the mapper for the prison RP server and I began working on it. I went on a call with Elite and he told me some things that he wanted done with the map. The admin was one who gave me all the main work that needed to be done. When the map was done, I sent the map to Elite Lupus. After a while, the Prison RP server was cancelled, but he told me that he would like to have a map for his Dark RP server. This was the real deal. His Dark RP server usually has 600 concurrent players every day across 6 servers. That's a lot for Gmod. It was incredible to think that soon thousands of people would be playing on the map that I added from RP Downtown. The map went through countless changes. It took about a month to make, 2 weeks to make the edits, and 2 weeks for bug fixes and a few changes. When the map was finally done, I sent it over and it was uploaded to the Elite Lupus Dark RP server. Everybody liked the map, except for a few people, but to be honest I think the main reason that some people didn't like the map is that their base dupes wouldn't work anymore. I have been mapping for the Elite Lupus Dark RP server ever since. I recently stopped doing map commissions, but I still love making my own Gmod maps and doing whatever I want without being bossed around to do things at server owners' request. After almost 1 year of mapping, I redone the spawn area I did in my first ever map. You can see it on screen now. In my opinion, it looks a million times better. As you can see, I recently started doing mapping tutorials for people who want to get into mapping. When the Half-Life Alyx SDK comes out, I hope that I can make lots of maps for the game and maybe even make tutorials. And then maybe in the future, I can make my Half-Life Alyx mapping story.